Alright, so hello everyone and welcome back to Theory Thursday. So it is now episode 3 ng ating Theory Thursday. So the series has been going on for 2 weeks and this is now the third week. So I hope we can keep going strong throughout this series. So today we'll be discussing Fourier's law of heat conduction. Since we discussed yung ating Pascal's principle and as well as yung ating ideal gas law. Now we'll move on to a bit more complex, even though in terms of the heat transfer course, medyo simple pa siya. Pero uh, we'll talk about it in a simple level lang, okay? So without further ado, let us proceed. So alamin natin kung ano yung definition ng Fourier's law. So Fourier's law of heat conduction states that the rate of heat conduction through a wall is directly proportional to the temperature difference across the wall and heat transfer area, and inversely proportional to the thickness of the wall. So it might sound complex here when we're doing the definition itself, but I have a way to explain it. So let's explain it visually para mas maintindihan natin yung uh, definition natin. Okay? So let's proceed to our conceptual analysis. So let's say I have a glass bottle. So let's pretend na water bottle to, and it is made out of glass. So it has an area, no? Since you can consider it as a cylinder, even though there's a bit of deformation here, aside from being a normal cylinder. Also, it has a thickness, which we will denote as dx. Ano? Since, ayun nga, if you look at it from a 3D perspective, meron siyang kapal, So, we'll consider that as the thickness. So, we'll explain that when we move on with the derivation. So, it has this is the temperature, this is the temperature on the outer surface, as you can see. So, let's bring up the other one. No. So, it has a temperature at the outer surface as well as a temperature at the inner surface. So makita mo naman, ito yung nagde-denote ng thickness, as you can see from this part of the glass. So this is T, and sa loob mas mainit. And so that will be T plus dt, which is the change in temperature. Now, there will be heat coming from outside. So let's say na yung bottle is pinapainit. Okay? Now, the heat will travel from T1 to T2. And you might be wondering, bakit ganito yung pagkaka-form niya? That is because the temperature goes down when you heat something through conduction. So, it takes a while for the heat to be in equilibrium. So, we can say that T1 is greater than T2. So, ayun, that is the basic concept of first law of conduction. So if there was Newton's law of cooling, which relies on the change in time, and doon natin ibabase yung temperature, in Fourier's law, i-define natin yung area as well as yung thickness. Since, ayun nga, it is a much more complex analysis of heat transfer since it is now in conduction. Okay? So, now we will proceed sa ating derivation ng formula. No? So, there is some relationships that we have to consider. Just like in the ideal gas formula or the ideal gas law. That is, okay, so let's say that I have an xy plane, and then in the xy plane, I have, let's say, we have a box. No? So, natin na parang naka-cross section siya. Okay? So heat will be coming from here. Ito yung ating heat. And this is yung ating T1 and it travels downward. Ano? So, ayusin natin. Travels down up to here, which is our T2. And take note that this is our change in the thickness X. And then, of course, this whole part here, ano, this is the area. Okay? So, yan. Now, from here, we can make some relationships, direct relationships. So we know that whenever heat is in contact with the surface area, whenever the heat rises, ano, whenever the heat goes up, the surface area will expand. So even though na hindi natin siya napapansin, it kind of expands, and you can also explain it in such a way that yung mas maraming heat ang pwedeng ma-produce when there is a much larger surface area. Okay, so there is much more capacity to heat. So that's one way to explain it. So we can say that the heat is directly proportional to the area. Okay, and of course, uh, heat also directly affects yung ating temperature. So we can say that the heat is also directly proportional sa ating change in temperature. Okay, since if you have a much more high content of heat, then yung change in temperature mo uh, also rises, or actually it goes down if you take note, but still there's a difference, but yung starting point mo is going to be much higher. So in a way that is also directly proportional to that. And uh, we can note that yung ating heat is uh, inversely proportional to the change in thickness. Since, ayun nga, pagtaas ng thickness, then the heat will conduct, since it is performing conduction, yung heat is mas maano siya, mas bababa whenever there is more thickness. So, yun yung relationship niya doon. Okay? And mapapansin natin, as we did with the ideal gas law, we can form a formula out of this. So, we can say that the heat is proportional to the area multiplied by, gagawin natin siyang notation. So this is delta T over delta X. And we call this one the temperature gradient. Ano? So this is the temperature gradient, which is the change in temperature with respect to the change in thickness. Ano? And again, to remove this proportionality sign, we have to introduce a proportionality constant, K. Okay, so it will now be Q is equal to K A times, palitan natin siya ng ibang notation. So let's refrain from the Newtonian notation. That is dt over dx. No? So, bale, ito na yung formula niya. However, we have to consider that the heat flows from a high point to a low point. Therefore, it is negative. So you have to notice those things when you are deriving formulas. Okay? And from this one, we can calculate yung ating heat based on Fourier's law of conduction. And also, if you want to find the heat flux, which is yung ating specific heat Q, or that is also Q over A, no, since we're just really transferring yung area sa denominator nun. So it's negative K dt dx. And in some textbooks, we denote yung ating q as q double prime. So that is the notation from some textbooks. No. And yung ating proportionality constant k, that is yung ating coefficient of thermal conductivity. No? So it is a property of material and it is constant. Okay? So, bale, yung ating formula in general is ito. And you can write it in some other ways para hindi ka malito. Just like you can put everything in the numerator na para isang lagay na sa calculus when you are trying to compute. Okay? So, ayun. Now that we have derived yung ating formula, let us proceed with a sample problem. Okay? Yan. Yan. So, I'll just read it out and then we can solve it right after. Okay? So, it says here to calculate the heat transfer per hour through a solid brick wall 5.5 meters long, 3.1 meters high, and 225 millimeters thick when the outer surface is at 6.5 degrees Celsius and the inner surface is at 19.3 degrees Celsius. The coefficient of thermal conductivity of the brick being 0.85 watts per meter Kelvin. Ayan. So, now we have to notice. So, before we solve this actually, pwede nating balikan yung derivation. Since this is negative and dt, it depends on dt actually. Since ang kina-consider natin dito is yung T2 minus T1. But we know that T1 is greater than T2. Therefore, ang magiging answer mo dito is negative. That is why the negative sign is there to amend yung magiging negative na sagot and make it positive. Therefore, what we can do to make this positive, so let's try to write another formula. That would be K A, and then this would be T1 minus T2 over yung ating dx or the thickness. So that way, we can omit the negative sign. Okay? So that's the concept there. And so, back to the problem. Let's identify yung ating given. Okay? So we have a solid brick wall, the length being 5.5 meters. The height is 3.1 meters. The thickness, so let's just denote it as yung ating delta x. That is 225 millimeters. And yung ating temperature of the outer surface, so yun yung ating T2, or for the sake of this problem, that is yung ating T out, which is 6.5 degrees Celsius. And yung ating temperature of the inner surface, is 19.3 degrees Celsius. And yung ating coefficient of the thermal conductivity of the brick is 0.85 watts per meter Kelvin. Okay? So, ang tinatanong sa atin is heat transfer per hour. Okay? So, yung ating yung unit nating sa heat transfer, that is in watts. So, it's joule per second. So, but for the sake of this problem, gawin natin yung ating Q, preferably kilojoule per hour, para uniform yung ating units. We increase the degree of one another para hindi siya masyadong complicated tingnan. Okay? So, let's solve. So, what I like to do is to illustrate the problem first. So, ayun nga, we have a solid brick wall. So again, let's try to do like a cross-sectional illustration of it. Not really the best at drawing, but we get the job done anyway. So, ayan. Let's label kung nasan yung mga parts ng ating problem. So, of course, let's use a different color for that. So, we have the length, no, which is yung ating 5.5 meters. That is here. No? Yan yun. And then yung ating height, that is 3.1 meters. And then yung ating thickness, no, 225 millimeters. And consider natin yung temperature of the outer surface being 6.5 degrees Celsius. And yung sa inner surface, so let's pretend na nandito yan, it is 19.3 degrees Celsius. No. And did I miss anything? No. So, ayan. Also, we have yung ating thermal conductivity, but let's do that for the solution. So, ang hinahanap is Q. And we know na yung formula, like we revised yung ating formula, that is K times yung ating area multiplied sa T1 in this case is yung ating T in minus T2, which is yung ating T out, over the change in thickness. Okay? So we have 0.85 watts per meter Kelvin times the area, 5.5 meters times 3.1 meters times yung ating temperature, 19.3 minus 6.5 degrees Celsius. Yan. Tapos yung ating thickness, 225 millimeters. Let's convert that to meters. And there is 1,000 millimeters in 1 meter. So let's cancel the units. So let's do some unit analysis. So makancel na tong meter dito. And then yung millimeters dito. And yung meter dito. And we know that the change of the temperature in degrees Celsius is equal to the change in temperature in Kelvin. Since, yun nga, if you try to add to 273.15 or subtract it, makancel lang din naman yun. So we can just cancel this out. Since we're talking about the change in temperature. Okay? So we're left with watts. No. And watts is joule per second. Okay? So let's put this in the calculator real quick, and then we shall have an answer. Times 19.3 minus 6.5. And then we have 225 times 1 over 1,000, or it's just 0.225 meters. Okay, so let's check if everything is right. Ano? Yan. So we will have 824.4622 joule per second. Now, i-convert natin siya into kilojoule per hour. So it's just a two-step conversion. First, let's multiply yung ating joule per second sa, cancel natin yung second. So it's 3,600 seconds in 1 hour. So, and there is 1 kilojoule in 1,000 joules. No. So let's cancel the units out. No. So this will be cancelled, and this will be cancelled. So we're left with kilojoule and R at the bottom. So that's pretty nice. Okay. So lagyan natin yung answer natin. So we have 2,968.064 kilojoule per hour. And that is our answer. Okay? So, ayun. It may look complicated at first, but if you analyze the problem, just as with all problems, you can therefore arrive at the right answer. So, this is the answer for this problem. No. So, ayun. I think that would be it for this episode of Theory Thursday. So let's end it with a quote again by none other than Joseph Fourier himself, which is mathematics compares the most diverse phenomena and discovers the secret analogies that unite them. So medyo related yun sa naging topic natin in which we use the mathematical concepts to devise a formula and therefore explain the phenomena behind it since ayun nga, mathematics is the language of science. So, ayun, that will be it. So, thank you guys for tuning in and I'll see you guys tomorrow sa ating Fundamentals Friday. So, ayun lang, that's all from me. Thank you guys and goodbye. Happy learning.